created over 5 million views across all of my platforms in just 30 days, and I want to talk you through how this is possible for us as well as our clients. The way that this is possible is you honestly have to create a content machine that is going to work for you, create streamlined processes, automations, and really learn how to create a production process that is going to allow you to create high quality content, a decent quantity of content with a very small amount of time. One of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was first getting started with social media was creating content specifically for each platform. And what we found is that it's a lot more beneficial to create content that you can then leverage, that's going to be more versatile, that can be repurposed and restructured to be used across multiple platforms. Now, if you had to create 5 million views on your social media in the next 30 days, would you know what to post, what to say, how often to post, and what even content to create? I'm guessing that the answer is no. So the first thing I want to talk about is the power of sales psychology, specifically in TikTok content. Now, we're going to be touching on multiple platforms because our organic cross-platform traffic strategy is a huge pillar of what is going to give you so many views to absolutely explode your following and bring so many new people to your accounts and ultimately to your business. If your intention with your content is to create leads and generate revenue for your business, you need to be creating content that's infused with sales psychology. Educational content is not going to do what you need it to do. Just giving people tips and tricks, all you're doing is creating a space for them to come consume. They're going, wow, that's great information, but there's no reason that they would want to pay you to solve their problems. So creating sales psychology infused content, what you're actually doing is number one, you're speaking to the 4 different types of buyers and selling to them in a way that's important to them. And you're able to leverage these different psychology backed tactics to create content that's going to be more interesting, engaging, and ultimately keep people watching as long as possible, which is going to boost your reach on TikTok specifically. So there's a bunch of ways that we go about infusing sales psychology into our content. And one of those first things that we think about is the feel good factor. We want to create content that's super bingeable and helps people to have an aha moment that really gives them insight into what the symptoms are that they're currently experiencing and how that connects to what their actual problem is, and in turn, what we can do to actually solve that problem. The issue is that so many people market to the problems rather than the symptoms that people are experiencing, which are 2 different things, which ultimately is going to drive down your views because people are not going to resonate, they're not going to self-identify with your content, and so they're not going to watch the entire thing. Some of the most successful videos that we've had on TikTok have really, really tapped into that aha moment for people where we're essentially taking their current reality and diagnosing them. We're connecting what they're experiencing, the symptoms that they have, to what the actual problem is, and then we position ourselves as the antidote to that problem that they have. So ultimately, this comes down to what I call the conversion equation, where on your social media, you have to hit home to 3 things. You have to hit home to people's current reality, you have to hit home to what their desires are, and what the gap is in their understanding. So the mistakes they're making, what they've tried that hasn't worked, what their gap in their strategy is, whatever it is that's keeping them over here where they currently are from where they want to be. And so when you create content that really positions you as the bridge for that gap, that is what is going to allow people to really identify. They're going to want to binge your content, and it's going to keep them watching through the entirety of the video. The second thing that we do to create these really insane views and results is to use Instagram as a nurturing platform rather than an outreach platform. So obviously nurturing your audience is super important, and Creating followers that are raving fans or super fans that are going to share your content to other people is really going to help you grow exponentially. So, with Instagram, obviously, they are the best platform for nurturing because they have features that no other platform has. No other platform has as wide of a collection of features, right? They have short form content with reels, they have in the moment live content, they have Instagram stories, which is again more in the moment, more organic. They have static content that goes on your feed, they have long form content, they have voice notes and really good messaging. There's literally so many ways that you can interact with your audience on that platform. So, when you're bringing people from TikTok to Instagram and really wanting to grow that platform, or from Pinterest to Instagram, which we'll talk about in a minute, it's really important to have content there that is nurturing those new people and building that relationship so that you're not just getting a view, but they're actually sticking around. Now, the one way that is really effective for visibility on Instagram specifically is to use Instagram Reels. And what we've found is the most effective for us is content that is going to trigger some sort of an emotional response for the audience. So, this could be in a variety of formats, from a 5-second aesthetic B-roll video with text on the screen to a sit down talking video that's 30-second long, right? It doesn't really matter what the format is. The secret is that you have to trigger that emotional response. You have to grab people's attention within the first 2 to 3 seconds of the video, and then you have to keep them there. And you have to get them to want to engage with you. And that's where triggering that emotional response comes in. So you do this by creating polarizing content. Polarizing content can be positive or negative. And ultimately, what you're doing is you are really staking your spot. You're really standing your ground and stepping into a leadership position when it comes to your opinions, your beliefs, your values, and ultimately what you do differently than everybody else in the industry. When people see a video and they're like, oh, that's different, I've never heard that before, that is what is going to keep them watching. That's what's going to get them to save. That's what's going to get them to share. And because Instagram is a nurturing platform, it's a relationship centered algorithm. So your content gets pushed out again and again to the people that interact and engage. So if you want to continue to get views and visibility, you have to get people to engage with you on Instagram, or your videos are going to flop every single time. Now, the third way that you can create massive visibility for your business is by leveraging Pinterest for outreach. And this is one of the reasons why I say that ads are such a waste of money, because you can reach the same amount of people organically for free with this platform and TikTok. Okay. So Pinterest is such an underrated platform for organic reach because it's a search engine, not a social media platform. So, what it does is it allows you to place your content directly in front of people that are already searching for what it is that you're posting about. So, if you are a business coach and people are searching for how to hit my first 10K month, your content is going to be pulled up as an answer to their question rather than hoping that it gets shown to people on the For You page or on Instagram Reels. Pinterest is also the only platform where people are there with a shopping mindset. It's the only platform built to get people to leave the platform. Everyone else wants to keep people on the platform as long as possible, whereas Pinterest, all of their posts linked somewhere else. They link to your website, lead magnet, your YouTube channel, your podcast, whatever it is. And so you can take all of that organic traffic that you're really able to easily create on Pinterest and visibility. You take that brand awareness and you can transfer it to the other platforms really effectively. So you can use it to grow your Instagram, grow your YouTube, like I mentioned. You can even link back to specific TikTok videos and really get as much reach as possible out of every single piece of content that you are posting. It's also really helpful for you to take your videos that you're creating for TikTok or Instagram and repurpose those onto Pinterest idea pins, because those are getting so much organic reach right now. You can literally reach hundreds of thousands of people overnight. Now, Pinterest is a volume game. So what you want to do is take all of the content that you're already creating and get as much mileage out of that content as possible by scheduling it through, I like to use Tailwind. It's a Pinterest scheduling system. And what it does is it allows you to post each of those pieces of content multiple times on different boards. And so that is going to give you the best possible combination of keywords that's going to get you in front of as many people as possible. So Pinterest is absolutely awesome. And so this brings us to understanding our cross-platform traffic technique. So cross-platform traffic, it does a couple things for you. One, it allows you to really leverage the outreach platforms that are going to provide a lot of visibility for you and bring that traffic to something like a nurturing platform like Instagram to nurture and then convert those people into sales. The other thing that we know is that people need to have 7 to 14 interactions with you and with your content before making a purchase decision. And so you can condense that timeline that it's going to take for somebody to make a purchase with you by giving them multiple interactions with you and giving them a reason to go from one platform to another. So they're able to see you in multiple lights, they're able to see you in different formats, and it builds that trust and credibility in seeing you across multiple platforms. It's the mere exposure effect in sales psychology. So the more they see you, the more they know of you, the more platforms you're on, you really give the illusion of omnipresence where you are everywhere, and it really builds that credibility and again can condense that timeline between somebody finding you and actually becoming a customer. In our onboarding form, I always ask people, where did you find us and what actually caused you to convert? And so many people tell us that they either found us on Pinterest or TikTok and then came over to Instagram and converted based off of something that I was talking about on my Instagram story. So that works really, really well for us. We've created $500,000 months from leveraging this exact strategy. And this is also what we teach our clients to be able to do. I was having a conversation with a client this morning, and she was even talking about how she found me on TikTok and binged like 6 of my videos, and then she was ready to sign up, like no questions asked. And the reason that we teach content creation in this way with the sales psychology backing and then with the cross-platform traffic is it allows us to condense that timeline and move people through the customer journey so much faster. And we have so much more trust and credibility built with them before they even come into our sales process. Now, when it comes to actually creating all of this content, because we've talked a lot about the different platforms, there is a couple different softwares I would highly recommend you using to make this process more streamlined and seamless. Now, if you have a camera of some sort, and even if you don't, I would recommend downloading the software. It's called OBS. If you have a Mac, that's what we use. And you open it up, you click record, you automatically set it to where you want that recording to go. So for us, everything automatically records into our Google Drive that's shared with the rest of our team, so I don't have to do anything. And then we use ClickUp for streamlined content planning and project management. So essentially what we do is we have an annual content plan, which we've coined as the $1 million content plan. And this is the same strategy that our clients employ. So we do an annual content plan that's broken down with monthly topics. We bring in the sales psychology through the different lenses so that we can frame the way that we're creating content to speak to each of the 4 different buyer types, okay? And so what we do is we have all of that already preloaded into ClickUp from our team meeting at the beginning of the year. And so I know exactly what I'm filming, exactly what content's going to be going out, exactly what I need to do. And rather than having to think about all the tasks and all the videos and all the pieces of content, everything already has due dates pre-assigned. We have automation set up that trigger that assign people's tasks to them. So if somebody needs to schedule content, somebody is supposed to add it into an editor, right? Whatever it is, those are all pre-created templates so that all I have to do is tell it that I recorded and the process triggers. And so I don't have to touch it. And all I have to do is record what's on my list for that day. And I don't have to think about anything else. So it makes the process so easy. I'm able to block out exactly how much time I need. I record and the rest is taken care of for me. So having this content production system has absolutely been a game changer because we actually, and this is not necessary for you to do, but because of all the testing we've done, because we know that every single piece of our content converts so well, when we double the amount of content going out, we actually double sales. For most people, that is not the case. Okay. So don't get that confused. But we've been able to really up the amount of content that we're putting out by leveraging this production strategy because it's so easy and seamless. So I'm able to batch out 6 YouTube videos for the week, 2 podcast episodes, and 21 TikToks. And it literally, it takes me no time. It's so simple. It's so seamless. So I would highly recommend setting this up for your business. And then the final part of this production plan is content scheduling. So we're currently using Metricool, and this allows us to schedule all of our content in one place and have it automated to go out. And we've even used Munch, and there's another one, I can't think of the name of it, but we use that for some AI video editing, and it really just streamlines the process. The final thing that I want to bring up is the fact that if you create versatile long form content, you can really cut down on the time that you're in filming and production. So instead of creating hundreds of TikToks, you can create just a couple long form videos and use AI to crop those up and schedule them out as short form content. So you can repurpose that content and get a lot more mileage out of it on the various platforms without having to spend a ton of time in content creation. So you can repurpose content in 2 different ways. Like that, you can repurpose the tangible piece of content by breaking it up and pushing it out. You can also repurpose the content concept, which also streamlines the process as well. So to recap, if you're posting on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest, you should be able to generate a ton of visibility as long as your content is psychology backed. You have a streamlined production plan that's going to allow you to create a good volume of content, good quality content in a very small amount of time every single week. So if you have any questions about this, be sure to comment them down below. And of course, my DMs on Instagram are always open. If you want to have a conversation about this and how to really infuse this into your own business, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we're going to do so many more videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for being here.